Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Phil. So it's been too long, I'm gonna say. I feel like I miss you.
Yeah, I miss you too. Have we spoken since Thanksgiving? No.
Don't think so. We found each other somewhere and we didn't get to speak, so I get to see you from afar. And it's not the same as when I talk to you, I'll say. I enjoy our conversation so much. So yes, happy holiday season.
Yeah, we're right in the thick of it now. I think that's probably why we weren't able to meet because everybody is revved up with, the holidays, which is cool and fun, but it disrupts schedules a little bit. But I think it's great.
Yes, life is fun if you roll with it.
Hmm.
Right. And I were talking about Nicole Kidman, and I'll talk about, I'm sure she has to roll with it right now. As everyone knows, she's probably going through some stuff, and how it's not easy when we're human. No matter how famous or rich we are, we're all still human.
Yeah, and there is not a lot of information about her divorce from Keith Urban. There there are no specifics I could find, so I think they're handling it well as far as dealing with the public, and it seems like they're doing it in a very loving, respectful, adult manner. But I'm sure,
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's so interesting. I think she's very quiet of a person, but I
that,
don't think she's
yeah,
very happy.
that's what I mean. So something's going on, and there's lots of theories. I don't think it was a very I think it had something to do with an affair, but I don't know if there's anything clear or specific about it. But I think, like you said, she seems to be rising above it and dealing with it in a really good way. Strangely enough, I saw a photograph of her and her two daughters on a turkey run on Thanksgiving. So there was a group photo of them running. So and I thought, oh, good for her, good for them, you
Good
know?
for them. I mean, that's life, right? You don't know what's going to be thrown at you, but how do you wake up the next day and be okay? And I think that's true for everybody right now that's living, but good for them. Yeah, there's something about, you have children, you have to move forward, you have to be brave. But we are going to look at her chart, but I do think yeah, it is interesting because she's always been able to, you don't know so much about her. She's somewhat of a private person, it feels like.
Yeah. But I do see a lot of bravery in her chart. She
Yeah, let's
seems,
share her chart right away because it's well, I mean, so brave in so many ways. But yeah, let's share her chart. So can you see it right, Phil?
yep.
Or
Mhm. Yes.
and do you see this black thing over here? Or no, is it only I see it? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. So yeah, she's got that
Well,
fire.
let's just say what we do. I think what we're our whole goal is to use astrology to try to make lives better, but also like what would we do? And we're in a process of like a lot of transformation change as a society, and astrology really can help make your life a little easier and not feel so alone. So we are sharing the chart today of Nicole Kidman, and I will say to you, our podcast is called If I Were You, and I will say to you how I what big shoes to fill to be able to say that I could even give someone like Nicole Kidman any advice. So that's what I will start with saying, just in that sense. But if I were you, Phil, I would keep on talking. So let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, thank you for that. We want to think of ourselves as giving friendly advice. Our intentions are only for the best for everybody. And as you mentioned, Courtney, we use astrology to help us ask better questions about ourselves and for ourselves. So we like to look at birth charts of people we all know and are familiar with as a way to explore how astrology can be useful. And I have to say, looking at her chart, it's quite remarkable for many reasons. Just simply looking at it, there's a symmetry to it, and it seems to have an arrow energy that's pointing straight up. So even if you're not familiar with how charts are read, I think you can get the idea that this person is someone who's capable of making a great impact. Wouldn't you say, Courtney?
Yeah, I love that you right before you we opened the chart, you said she is such a brave person. And I yeah, I would say she has made such an impact and she's touched so many lives. And I think sometimes we don't even realize how much she's touched people's lives. In a way, it's a little bit hidden from us, right? I think she probably does a lot for society and we don't know. She maybe doesn't look for the credit of it as much as, I don't know, something about, someone's like really good and you kind of really know they're good. I feel like she's a very good soul. Yeah. And and maybe we don't know half of it. So I will say that, right? Doesn't it feel that way that there's something like
Hmm.
she can't come up to this earth for a purpose and I think she's doing her purpose very well actually.
Yeah, I think that Sagittarian moon in the second house has her really, again, being brave and searching. I think she has that real impulse to go where she feels she needs to. And she's certainly had an outstanding career, which we're all familiar with. But I also know, and believe me, I don't follow her that closely, but her personal life has had a lot of, let's say, uh, tumultuousness involved to it. I mean, I think there's a lot of passion and love there. And I think that brings her to the the partnerships she's had and the connections she's made. And I think you would have to be strong and brave and adventurous in order to move through those experiences and still want to keep going and still have your heart open and still want to say yes to all of it.
Yeah, one of my daughters actually has this south node in Scorpio. And so she has a south node in Scorpio. And my advice always for my daughter who has a south node in Scorpio, right, is choose the path of peace because there could be a lot of drama around you and drama will find them. And then they have to, and so, right, she's had a lot of drama, especially in relationships. And it's like drama finds her, and I'll say to you, and she's had probably traumatic lifetimes. And then how in this lifetime can she choose the peaceful way? Choose people that she peaceful people that she does, and I think when we're younger we fall in love and we all know the story about Tom Cruise and we might not have chosen that, older, and then we chose somebody else and we had this great love affair. I It seems like great love affairs. um but maybe next time I'll say the idea of maybe choosing somebody that's a little easier, like very grounded. I would love to have her find someone that's just super grounded and that she doesn't have to always rescue, maybe. I don't know if that makes sense
Mhm.
to you, but peace. I don't know. Choose peace. I think that South Node in Scorpio is don't get caught in the drama of life. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of drama in life.
Mhm.
So yeah. But yes, I love her moon in Sagittarius because we're in like Sagittarius season and it's all about belief. And
Mhm.
she, in a way, makes money with the pretend of the make believe and bringing us into these stories. I mean, she's a storyteller, right? You look at that eighth house sun, right? She is a storyteller. She's a storyteller
Yeah, and it's square.
in a
It's
beautiful way. and
Yep.
she's born on a full moon. I mean, she's going to have a lot of freaking feelings.
Yep. It's not only that, that moon is trying her Venus up there at the MC. So she presents beautifully. I mean, that's goes without saying. She's a gorgeous woman. And so that Venus is shining right there in her chart. But to your point about storytelling, that conjunction with Neptune and Pluto in her 11th house, I think gives her a powerful imagination,
Oh, you mean
which
Uranus? Oh, I like it. I
you're,
like what you're saying. Uranus. I think you're
so
right. Uranus and Pluto.
you're sorry if I misspoke, but yes, that conjunction I think creates this, this powerful aura of fantasy and make believe and storytelling. That's powerful. I mean, it's got that veil of make believe with Neptune. I'm sorry, with Uranus. Sorry, with Uranus, but there's that intensity with Pluto.
I didn't even, I love that. And out in society, right? Out in the world, like making an impact on us and in the world. Don't you think it's interesting that we've been doing this? I think this is our fourth chart, right? With people that are famous. And three of the four had Scorpio ascendants. Isn't that, it's such an interesting, because there is the lower side of Scorpio ascendant is it doesn't show the truth. And when you're acting and you're in theater, in a way, it's not the truth. You have to take on a different, you have to absorb a different character. You have to become that character. It does feel very almost like you're, in a way, you're lying, but you're not lying because you're actually becoming that person. And she does that so well. She does that so
Yeah,
well.
and I misspoke about Uranus, but it is tied to Neptune and Mercury in that.
Well, what's interesting, it's not, it's, you're right. It's tied to Neptune, Mercury, and you didn't really misspeak because it's also in a connection to the Neptune, which you did bring up. So you
Mhm,
were right about the Neptune. It just, you said it's sextiling it.
mhm.
So it's actually the midpoint between that Mercury, right? And then that Neptune. I mean, that's beautiful actually, right?
Very strong. I mean, she's got so much, she has so much planetary power there supporting her in her endeavor. That
Well,
it's no surprise,
Well,
really.
also, it's the so the chart ruler is actually Pluto. It's also Mars if you're more traditional astrology, but in the astrology I use, then her chart ruler would be Pluto. And that Pluto, I mean, in Virgo with that Uranus is talk about Virgo in sense of like our job is to be making the world a better place, doing something to improve it in a way that's out of the box, actually. So yeah, I think you're right. I think that's it's a powerful conjunction. And I
Yeah,
feel like there's a lot of luck on her side, if that makes sense. Like, especially in her career with that Jupiter. Like, don't like I love Stephen Forrest. He does don't underestimate yourself. So where this Jupiter here, Jupiter and Leo, but all the right people will come to her. I feel like people will find,
hmm
and I think they always have.
hmm The other thing about her, which I'm just thinking about now, which I never really thought about too much, but I see it here, is that she's really, in the very traditional sense, a working actor in the sense that she'll take on different roles. She's a character actress who also happens to be a movie star, right? She's got that glamorous beauty signature, but I've seen her do all kinds of roles in all kinds of films. She'll do art house movies, and then she'll do big budget musicals, little comedies, psychological dramas. I mean, she goes in there and she gets to work and she gets the job done.
I mean, she does. I mean, last year, I was actually, did you like, I think she was in like 20 movies or something. She was in everything last year. And I just kept on thinking, like, how is she doing it all? It was right. I never, that's an interesting thing, a character actor. You know, I didn't know so much about her, but when I started to research her a little bit, what I've learned is she's very, very, very big in women's rights. She's like, for the last 20 something years, probably 30 years, since her career, she has been very an advocate for women's rights, like a humanitarian for women. So but interesting, right? Venus in the house of the mission, right? And then Jupiter, and then using her stardom to for women. I mean, how beautiful is that? And it's trining that moon in Sagittarius in the second house of her own worth, and that Saturn in the house of service in Aries, being brave and being a woman, doing it her own way and not going to go along with what the system maybe wants for her. So just what you
Mhm.
said, she's a character actor able to go into different roles. But it's not easy to be so famous, I would think, for anybody.
Right. Yeah, and you definitely get the impression that she passionately believes in her causes. She can articulate them and know why that she's saying the things that she is, and she believes the things that she does, which is her authenticity comes through when she does that.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you said in the beginning how we didn't really hear so much about her about this experience and so in a way her son being in the eighth house would show that she really needs things to be private even if she is famous. But like it's really none of our business what's happening in her life.
And
Which is
it's so
hard because
ironic.
you're famous, right? But it is hard. It's
Right.
Diane Keaton, I think, had a son in the right, didn't she? Her son be like so she had a very strong eighth house too. Interesting.
Who is that?
Diane Keaton, I don't remember her chart, but she had a strong eighth house, I remember.
That's right. And it's an interesting contrast, right? The Gemini sun, which is tends to be outgoing, but it's in a very private house. And I think she's handling that contrast really well.
Well, and just what you said, contrast. I mean, she's born with a full moon, right? So there's a big part of her that wants to, it's when you're born with a full moon, there's a lot of contrast in your life that you have to deal with, right? There's a big part of you that wants this, there's a big part of you that wants that. So she wants to make money and doing her craft, but she also, I don't know if she wants the stardom like other people do in a way.
What would you tell her, Courtney, you know, by just saying, if I were you? How would
Oh,
you?
well, I'll just say if I were her, and not particularly in this, but don't, everything's happening for you. Like even this, I really believe that like life is happening for you and that this is just the beginning, right? It's just the beginning of something even more amazing. And even though it's not what you wanted to happen, right? Life has a way of surprising us. And I just think when you have a Sagittarius moon, just be radically open minded. The greatest gift you could do for yourself, for your chart, is to be radically open minded and believe in yourself, actually. That's what I would say, just in general, just with her chart without the transits. But I'll ask you, what would you say if, just based on her chart, not where we're at, what would you tell her?
Yeah, similar to what you said, I think if I were you, I would just use all that powerful energy in your chart to let it guide you, as Courtney says. It's it will. I would say that you have a important destiny and you have planets protecting you and guiding you. Those energies are really powerful. If you're aware of them, they can really take you to a place where few have ever been.
Oh, I love that, Phil. I take me there too.
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we can
love
all get there. We can
take
all
me
get
to a,
there.
I love that though. Take me to a place. Okay, that's just magical. You're look at your words. Oh, I have the chills, Phil. That's great. That's great.
I think we can all get there, but her chart just expresses it. It's so bold. It's such a big blinking like green light that says that this path, this special path for you is is going to be such an intense experience that people will learn from it for a very long time.
Love that. I love that idea of that when we're famous, like when somebody, like when a person's famous, when a person like her, so when a person's famous, like when we're famous, not as I'm famous, but as we're famous, that we could teach people by being examples for them, right? That like you can have a this incredibly hard experience and you can rise up from that. And I think what you just said is so true, right? In a way, she can teach us. She can teach us by just I'm trying to change the chart so that she can teach us. So I think you're right on that. It's how can we she will get through this. And I will say to you, it's so interesting because she had such a now are you seeing a biwheel?
Yes,
Okay. She's had such another, I mean, she was married to one of the most famous men in the whole world. She got divorced. And I
yes,
will say to you, you heard very, very, very little even then about that. And that was a big experience. And she made it through that. And I would say that was what's interesting though. I actually think it happened right at her before her Saturn return. And now again, it's at her next Saturn return. So it's really an interesting, I'm pretty sure, right? Like she got the last time she got divorced was to Tom Cruise. She was actually became very her own success, and I'm sure even in just in that alone was hard for Tom Cruise. For some reason, I kind of have that no judgment. I don't know Tom Cruise seems wonderful, fine. And then this man, she got married again, and now we're about to have another. But it is actually wait. Oh my God, I didn't even see this. Her wound, her Chiron is being very hit. So our wound, the wound she has about herself, about who she is, about how she's seen, about how incredible, I'll say to you, the dynamic of being so divine is being hit. So her wound's being hit right now too. So if you ask me now, I would say don't underestimate your ability just to bring the magic to life with your craft. She's a great artist.
absolutely. That that is you can see that in her comprehensive body of work. You know, she has many skills, uh, which she which she displays so beautifully. And it's interesting that you mentioned her past relationships, and she doesn't shy away from them. I did a little digging, and she has dated or been in relationships with many notable men. In, I mean, she dated Lenny Kravitz. She dated a lot of people.
Oh, really? I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
I was just where supposedly Leonard Kravitz is from, and it's so beautiful. So, wait, when did she date him? Earlier on?
I saw a list of people that she had dated. Yeah. So it was just a list. I didn't see a year or the number of years. But she doesn't seem, she's not, again, I think this is her fire energy. She's boldly moving forward each time. She's not retreating. She's not in seclusion. She's not, she's probably mourning internally, but that's not stopping her from seeking whatever her goal happens to be, emotionally or personally or professionally. She's just going to she's going to keep seeking and being courageous.
Yes, from your mouth to her ears, I'm going to say that she just, I mean, that is Saturn, right? Is what's your hardest job that you could be is Saturn. So that's right here. And I'll say to you, her hardest job is be brave, right? Be courageous, especially in your craft. But I'll say it's not easy for her to be so brave, but it looks so easy. It's so fascinating to me about how people are and how it's perceived of how so like we could look at somebody and say, oh, it's so easy for them. And I'll say to you, it's not easy for anybody. Did you see there was a movie? I'm sure you did not see it, but it was great. It was with her and Zac Efron, and it was like a Netflix movie. And she's a lot older than him, and they have this great love affair. And I'll
You know
say
what I
she's yeah, she's so
what I
young at
do
heart, I'll say. And that's such a Gemini thing, right? It's just she seems so young and youthful.
I did not see that movie, but it's funny that you mentioned it because as I was doing a little research on her, it was said that Keith Urban was not pleased with that movie and the role she played with Zac Efron. And they the reporter asked him about that, about their love scenes, and he refused to answer. In fact, he left the interview. So, they're both
Well, they're
in
both
this
human.
right,
But
but they're both high level in the spotlight. They're in a completely different arena, uh, with completely different rules. I mean, I'm sure he has groupies all over the place when he's on tour, and she has to do these things for her job. So, of course, it
well,
puts.
I think it's so interesting because that's what you're just saying here is that Venus in the 10th house with Jupiter is she has a mission to do. And if that person doesn't like it or is jealous, I think jealousy is an interesting thing. That's on them. I mean, she was hot in that movie and she was sexual and she was gorgeous and good for her. Good. I mean, in a way, it's amazing, right? To be 57, 58 years old and we're seen as back in the day, you wouldn't be seen as somebody that was so, oh my God, sexy. And, I hope he probably had a hard time with that.
And again, I have to mention that she I think she won the Oscar for her portrayal of Virginia Woolf, and in that role, she was not at all portrayed as a sexy woman, and that was 20 over 20 years ago, I think.
I saw that movie. I have to see that movie
Yeah,
because I saw that she did win the Oscar. And I think actually that was at her Saturn return. I think she was right before she was 30. Am I right? Or after her Saturn return. Actually, it was after her Saturn return, 33 years old.
probably. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And so this is just the beginning, and life is going to get so much better for her in so many ways. Like there's this life is going to get better for her. It's just like she's like a fine wine and she's just going to get better with age. And I think that's also an important thing to remember when you're in Hollywood. It's what you believe. Be careful about what you believe about your age
Yes. Yeah,
and your
because
worth
yeah. Yeah.
because she's gorgeous. I mean, can you imagine looking like her? Could you imagine waking up in the morning with her? She's tall, has gorgeous hair. She has a great laugh. Her
Mhm.
laugh is, there's a
Yeah,
lightness.
she's definitely has that movie star thing. She just has it. Uh, and credit to her. She's born with these gifts. She's beautiful and talented and smart, and she is navigating a very risky, high risk environment, and she's done so for decades, and she still has her core beliefs and values, and she loves her family and loves her children, and that's what's important to her. So that's power. That's what real power is.
That is real. What, yeah, really, that is real power. What really what is power actually? It's a good question, but what really matters at the end? What really matters at the end of the day? And we can't control, you know, very much. And I think that's sometimes we just have to really go with the flow and let go and let God. I'll say to you, there's something about everybody right now, but especially in our career, right? Is like let go and let God and like ask the angels. There is something very powerful in her chart about asking the angels. There's Mars in the 12th house, and then this Chiron in the 29 degrees Pisces, and Neptune is right on it. So don't underestimating your ability to be, I mean, just a performer, just really perform and surrender and let go. And if people like you say thank you. And if people don't like you say thank you. And you don't need, you don't, it doesn't matter actually. And if somebody doesn't love you, it's actually their loss. I would say he's the one that lost. I have to say, I'm just between the two of us. I don't know him and I don't know her, but just my opinion is that he's the one that's going to be missing out
Mhm.
because we make mistakes sometimes. Then I'll say to you, I think one day he'll really regret it.
Yeah, whatever. Again, I don't know what the details are, but I'm
And it takes two, right? It takes two. I will say,
yes.
I kept on thinking she had a very busy year last year. It makes sense. I mean, she was meant to be working. She had Saturn in the fifth, and she's doing her art. And it's and I just think it's interesting because it's Uranus is in the seventh, and it was a little shocking. I think everyone was a little surprised by what happened. But I will
Maybe
say,
she'll
yeah, Jupiter's
maybe
going to
she'll
go back to her Mercury, and it's such right now just about her belief systems, about her open heart. Don't close your heart. Open your heart. Just there is something very important about having an open heart right now.
Mhm. And she's got a Taurus in the seventh house. So I think someone who's, as you already mentioned, someone who has some rock solid qualities and beliefs, like just solid
Yeah, and is
person.
confident with themselves. Like that you're not your job is not to make them confident, right? That your job like find people that are whole. I mean, you know that when she first got married, there's a couple of things interesting about their marriage. When she first got married, he ended up having a drug problem. Do you know that? He went to
He,
rehab shortly after.
yes, yes.
And so I'll say, you can't make people happy. There's something important about that. Just that Cancer, Mercury, it's not your job to make everyone happy. It's your job to figure out how to be okay, right? And also, but to find a relationship. I mean, her North Node, I don't know if it's between the sixth or the seventh house. I'm not deciding if I want to push it up or leave it in the sixth house, but I'll say to you, either way, just about having a relationship that is with somebody that is doesn't have a lot of drama, that is somebody that wants to have a very, I know, a safe life, like somebody that wants to be grounding and is confident in who they are, and that doesn't need her to make them confident.
Yeah, and credit to her. She stuck with him while he was going through that. I mean, they were together for 18 years. That's a long time. It's
Well, and think about what that is too.
yeah,
That's
it's the
really interesting. What
yeah,
is that, Phil?
it's the nodal return. Full
Yeah.
full
So they made it through a whole, I mean, in Hollywood, that's amazing, a whole nodal cycle. So
yep.
it's kind of amazing, right? Not to look at things at where they ended, or we don't know. Listen, life is funny. We never know if it's over, right? Things can always change. Things change, people change. But I will say to you, a full nodal cycle.
which definitely indicates that there was something strongly karmic about their relationship. I mean, it was strong, but it had an expiration date. It started here and it ended there.
Yeah. And it will never end because they have children together. So I will say to you, forgiveness is the most beautiful thing we could do. Don't underestimate your ability to forgive, because I'll say to you, when you have children, you are forever connected, and there's nothing, and those girls need him, right? So it's forgiveness is not that we forget or whatever. I keep on in a way blaming him, and I will not. There takes two people to tango, but I will say to you, I just want to blame him. So I'm sorry. Please forgive.
Yeah, it's okay. We we don't know the circumstances, and it just
But we're reading her chart, so we're rooting for her right now.
mhm.
What would you tell her if you were her
Oh,
based on the transits?
I would just say, you have so many qualities to be admired, and you're already starting from such a strong beginning in your chart that, just be aware that your the qualities you have are so strong that you have what you need to excel in the very high risk world that you live in. So even though it's risky and people can fail spectacularly with the careers that she has, I don't think that needs that those types of fears should not stop her from continuing to grow and to continuing to share her gift. If she can keep that in mind, like, I have a gift to share, then everything else will just fall into place.
Oh, I love that. She does have such a gift to share, and she is so. I I look forward to her next Academy Award. That's what I will say. I'll say if I were you, I would say don't underestimate your ability to have another Academy Award. I think that you're a star, and I think you're just beginning. The world is your oyster. So I love that, Phil. I love what you said, is that she's such a gift. And I think we all are. I think we're all humans, we're all these divine souls, and um we all are such gifts. And I'm so grateful she lets us see and we get to see her gift. So it really is incredible.
I actually love what you said because it's very specific, very clear. If I were you, I would look forward to accepting an Oscar in the future. Absolutely.
Yeah. So life is funny, right? It's and not to do the art for the award, because that's not why we do it. And sometimes it's not even about the award, but doing something that touches us so much, that makes a difference in our lives. And she does. I mean, that movie, it's such a silly movie that she made with Zac Efron, but it touched me in a way. Listen, I'm getting older. I appreciated seeing somebody have fun at that, right? And not take themselves so seriously. And that's what movies are supposed to do. I've been thinking so much about this, Phil. Movies are such great teachers, and they're always teaching us if we could only get the message.
They can actually change you. Like, you can watch a movie and be completely different person after watching it because your heart opened, your mind opened, you became more empathetic, you learned something, but makes you better. It makes you a better person. And she's part of that.
She is. She's a big part of that. Anyone that's able to do a craft like that and bring us into the world of, it's so funny, right? So she has a Sagittarius moon, and My guess is that Disney's sun is right on that moon. What you know, it's also really interesting that full moon that we just had is opposite her moon. So I think that she's just may the world be really good to her, and may she be really good to herself. So
Mhm.
art, it's a beautiful thing. I love the movies. It's a gift. So I can't
Yes.
wait to see what she does. She wait, there's another good movie too she did. You have to watch this movie where it was like a TV show and she was a spiritual teacher. Yeah, it was great. She's been on a lot of great things lately, and she's really fun, and she just you believe the part she's playing
Yeah.
so well. It's amazing.
That's yeah.
That's such a challenge.
Yeah. She embodies those characters.
She embodies his characters. I keep on thinking of John Malkovich as like this guy who just embodies different characters. So maybe we should do his chart next time.
Yeah, we should. He's an
So
interesting person.
yeah, great actors. There's nothing like them. May the world keep on producing great actors. And I have a feeling that she's also going to help a lot of young actresses
Hmm.
navigate the way very well. There's something about her. She's really truly a leader and a powerhouse in her own.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I look forward to watching what happens next.
Yeah, me too. Best of luck to her.
Yeah. Well, I thank you, Phil, for if I were you.
Yeah. Yes. I really enjoyed this. And yeah, I'm an even bigger fan now of Nicole
Right?
Kidman than I was before.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for people just being human. And yeah, I'm a big fan too. And I don't know if I always was such a big fan. I always liked her, but after reading the chart and looking at it, and over the last couple of years, I really like her.
Hmm. Yeah.
And she's letting us see her more. I think that's also, I would like to say that.
Hmm.
Thank you for letting us see you. And thank you for not taking yourself so seriously because we're all human.
Hmm.
So, and I wish her and her daughters and Keith, who had those children, just the best that everyone be safe.
Yes, me too.
And I will see you. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Thanks, Courtney.
Thank you.